Guest speaker today, Mr. Dan Roccato. Dan's a great friend and a wonderful parishioner. Dan, thank you.
Thank you, Father. I don't know if I was the first choice. I think Father called Carol, and she said, Danny, be happy to speak. So you're stuck with me this morning. Thanks for allowing me to speak about Catholic education, and in particular, our Catholic school here at Good Counsel. Father, you're very trusting, turning your homily over to me, an amateur, and we'll see how it goes. On behalf of Father Damien and our principal and our teachers and all the faculty and staff and our alumni and our current students at the school, I want to thank you and the entire parish for 92 years of generous support of our school. And in those 92 years, as you know, our school has earned an incredible reputation as being not just one of the best Catholic schools around, but being one of the best schools in our area. So we should be really proud of that. How many of you went to Catholic school? Just quick show of hands. You went, Father? You turned out okay. That worked out all right. Tom, did you go? Yeah, okay. You turned out okay too, Tom. Think back for a moment if you went to Catholic school, or maybe you had someone in your family that did, and think of how that impacted you. I went to Catholic school, as did Carol, and it certainly impacted us in a meaningful way. And this morning we'll talk a little bit about that impact. First, impact on our families. Father Damien asked me to share my family story, so I'm going to brag on our kids for a little bit. We moved to Morristown, and some of you moved to Morristown or Mount Laurel for the same reasons. Good communities, good schools, safe. And we started, was it preschool or kindergarten? I forget, love. Preschool. We started preschool with our oldest daughter when we first moved to town here at Good Counsel, not knowing if we were going to do public schools, Catholic schools, Quaker schools, whatever. And in the end, Mary Kate had such a good experience that we decided we would keep her and then our next 3 kids at Good Counsel. Mary Kate today, after graduating Good Counsel, went to Mary and Mercy Academy, went on to become a physician, and she is doing quite well. Jack, our next one, our son, Good Counsel School, St. Joe's Prep, and then went on to University of San Diego with an engineering degree, and he's now a Navy pilot. Pray for him. It's a crazy world. Right? Pray for Jack. Julia, our next one, went to Good Counsel, then Mary and Mercy, and she's about to graduate University of San Diego Honors College with a degree in biology. And our last one, Maggie, is currently in -8-degree weather in South Bend, Indiana, majoring in biochemistry at Notre Dame. Smart like their mom, for sure, right? Obviously, we're very blessed. They worked hard, and they're doing terrific. But Good Counsel really set the foundation. There's no doubt about that. It was a terrific investment on our part and their part. Let's talk about impact on our parish. OLGC has produced lots of accountants, engineers, lawyers, police officers, teachers, regular hardworking moms and dads of all stripes. And together, these generations of alumni, and I include our RE students in this, have helped our parish to survive and thrive when, as we know, lots of parishes, some in our own neighborhoods, may not be doing so well. Let's talk about impact on our community. More than ever, I think you would agree that our community, our world needs smart, caring, insightful leaders. And today, Catholic education and Good Counsel School continues to make a difference and an impact. Listen, we live in communities with great schools, excellent schools. Morristown, Mount Laurel, Lumberton, they're all terrific schools. But Catholic schools are different. I didn't say better, I said different. Let's talk a little bit about the difference, at least the way I see it. First is the depth of curriculum. If you have an experience with Catholic school, if you went there, or maybe your kids or grandkids go, you know, we don't have a breadth of curriculum. They're not going to study horticulture. But they do get an incredible depth They learn how to read, they learn how to write, communicate, they learn math, they learn science, they learn religion. From my perspective, that depth was important. Values. That word gets bandied about a bit, but in my mind, and certainly I think Carol would agree, was we know we're not perfect parents. I don't think anybody is. So the fact that we could get an additional 7 hours of reinforcement every day with the values we were trying to teach at home, sign me up for that. It helped. And finally, I'll share with you a couple of texts. This morning we had the family group chat, and I said to the kids, what do you think about good counsel? What was good or bad? What were some of your thoughts? And quickly, here they are. Mary Kate, just coming off an overnight shift, said, small classes. I was friends with everyone, and bullying and nonsense were not tolerated. My son Jack, stationed in Pensacola at the moment. I liked Mrs. Gaunt and the math teacher, Barbara, I forget her name. That would be Barbara Burnham, for those of you who don't know. Thank you, Mrs. Burnham, wherever you are. I loved Mrs. Sullivan. I don't know if you remember Mrs. Sullivan. Maggie in Notre Dame. The relationships between students and teachers, the teachers knew all of their students very well. And finally, Jules. Oh, Jules is awake, love. Jules out in San Diego. I didn't see this one. Every student was special. Every student could have a leadership role, whether it was student council or selling pretzels or just changing the flagpole. Thank you, Jules. I think that's all of them. They all reported in. Where are we today? What's OLGC today, and why Catholic Schools Week? First, OLGC is proudly Catholic in a world that, the lines are sort of blurred. Things get gray. There's lots of snowflakes out there. It's okay to be proudly Catholic. Why not? That's who we are. Second, academic excellence is what we're all about. Our teachers are 100% dedicated to make sure that every child, not just the ones on the top or the ones at the bottom, but every child does well and reaches their full potential. OLGC today is generous. You could easily say, well, it's a school for affluent folks in Mount Laurel, Moorestown. It's not always true. I've personally seen lots of instances over our time here where Father Damien has worked with families who are struggling. All kinds of special situations. No child has ever been turned away. No child has ever been turned away during our tenure for financial reasons, and we should be really proud of that. It's a loving, safe environment created by our teachers, our principal, and our pastor. This morning, Carol said, I said, what do you think about, tell me what I was talking about, and she said, well, it's really the teachers. The teachers make the difference, and that's so true. Like all of our families, we've got challenges here as well at Good Counsel School and Catholic education in general. First, economics. Our teacher pay, benefits, right? It's tough to find and pay good teachers when we're paying about 60% of what teachers make in public schools. We have an old building, needs constant upkeep and maintenance. Against that backdrop of challenges, we have essentially stagnant revenues at the parish level. We can only raise tuition so much. I'm a parent of 4 kids, right? If those of you who are parents, being a parent's like being a human ATM machine, right? Never stops. Tuition's tough. It's not something that comes easy to most families. Demographics is a challenge. We have a historically low birth rate in our country, and in particular, I was looking at some of the numbers, New Jersey and southern New Jersey, historically low birth rate. We have to make more babies. That's the subject of next week's homily. I'll do that one next week. We have competition. Look, the public schools are great. Just this week in the newspaper, I saw this, the Board of Education here in town is going to go eventually to full-day kindergarten. That's great. For those families that are going to use that program, that's terrific. We have full-day kindergarten, but we got to keep upping our game because the public schools are terrific, and we've got to compete in the marketplace. Other challenges, there's a bias, right? Let's be honest. Being a Catholic school, being a Catholic at the moment, well, it's not so fashionable, perhaps, right? So there's this, at least inherent, understated bias. What can you and I do? And I'll close with some of these thoughts. Number one, be an advocate of Catholic education, be an advocate of our school. It's an easy story to tell. I don't know much about education. I'm not a teacher. I know a lot about return on investment. And I can promise you this. If you choose Catholic school, and in particular ours, you will get a terrific return on your investment. I can promise you that. It's about value, quality, and price. Next, support your parish like we're doing. Thank you for being here and doing that. Support our school. Sponsor a child maybe. Donate to our endowment fund. Check out the activities this week. And finally, and most importantly, consider Good Counsel School for either your kids or your grandkids. Just don't write it off, right? Give it a thought. Think about it. Come visit. We have an incredible story. We have an incredible school. So let's make sure that maybe 20 years from now, when Father has someone else to come in to talk about Catholic Schools Week, and they ask the question, did you all go to Catholic school? We still see some hands go up, right? Let's make sure that we still have some hands go up. Thank you for your support of the parish and Catholic education in particular. Thanks for allowing me to be with you this morning. How'd I do, Father?
You did brilliantly.
Come back next week?
Come back next week.
All right. Thank you all.
Can I just endorse Dan's words? When Dan said we need to have more babies, Carol looked particularly nervous. So, you know, I'm a product of Catholic school as well. And, you know, you've heard bits and pieces of my story. Born in the north of Ireland, the people sometimes call Northern Ireland. And growing up as a small child in a war zone. A violent time, a very scary time for a child. Every night of my life, I heard explosions. And we would rush to the windows to see where the smoke and the flames were. And in the midst of that, myself and my brothers and my sister, we went to Catholic school. And in our Catholic school, we found an oasis of love and peace. There was never talk or promotion of violence or hatred or the other side. It was always love and forbearance and forgive one another. I was privileged with my siblings through scholarships to go to a great prep school. Run by our diocesan priest. There were about 6 priests. My primary school was run by the Irish Christian Brothers, maybe about 12 brothers and 70 lay staff. The prep school, 6 priests and like 60 lay staff. Wonderfully dedicated men and women. And then on to a variety of universities. I wonder, you know, what was I taught through all that? What did I bring with me? And what I brought was the answer to life's fundamental question. And the fundamental question of life is, what is the meaning of life? And what is our purpose? And the meaning of life is that you and I are the children of God. We are precious and sacred and unique. You and I are the disciples of Jesus Christ. And he tells us that we can change the world. We can change the face of the earth to make it reflect the kingdom of God, each one of us. Every day with hundreds of little actions and conversations and choices, we can make God present upon earth. So, I want to publicly thank all those who have taught me in my life. Be thankful for our teachers. I want to thank the teachers of today, the teachers, my own faculty here in Good Counsel, my own catechists, my own clergy, all those who teach the faith. Let's give thanks to them. And now let us stand and profess our faith.